About 1 month ago, Arc System Works confirmed that Season 2 of Guilty Gear Strive is on the way, promising extensive balance changes, 4 new characters, and crossplay. There's just one problem. We have no idea when it's coming, and the community is getting restless. Hello everyone, my name is Toxic Pizza, and I'm here to explain why the current popular sentiment regarding the metagame has led me to believe that Season 2 for Strive should drop sooner rather than later. Here's the rundown. Testament was the final character for Season 1, and they released in late March of 2022. Strive has received 2 balance patches since launch in June 2021, with the latter releasing in October of the same year. It's been over 6 months since the last balance patch, version 1.10, and the player base has a pretty good idea on the strength of the characters. In many tier lists created by players, there is a very clear consensus on the top 4 characters in the game, which include Nagoriyuki, Ramlethal Valentine, and Leo Whitefang. As one might expect, this is reflected in many tournament results. A grand finals with at least one of these 3 characters are quite common, and at this point, somewhat tiring. I can't tell you how many times I've tuned into an NLBC online weekly tournament to find at least 2 Rams in top 8. Rest in peace, NLBC Online. This happens often enough for people to get sick of it, and it makes sense. People tend not to like when the same few characters populate tournament top 4s. 6 months on a single patch is more than enough time for the meta to settle and character viability to solidify as players get better at the game and learn what the system mechanics reward. Nago, Ram, and Leo all excel at achieving that reward, which is overwhelming offense and big damage. If you're not careful, and oftentimes even if you are, they can just win a round in as little as 20 seconds. Hold on, Toxic Pizza. Didn't you say there were 4 generally agreed upon top tiers? Okay. It's time to address the elephant in the backyard. Happy Chaos was the 3rd DLC character in Season 1, and released in October alongside the last balance patch. At first, many of us thought he would be one of the worst characters in the game, and that his complex gun mechanics would not be rewarding enough to invest time into. Oh, how naive we were. A couple months after his release, Deb discovered that he has the best zoning in the game free. By abusing his steady aim, reload cancels, and curse, this guy can lock you down at full screen for 10 to 20 seconds at a time, with dash blocking and waiting for focus as your only reprieves. And should you brave the hit scan projectiles and manage to get in the gunslinging Broken Messiah's face, he has good normals to beat out your close range pressure and send you back to full screen. While he's zoning you, he gets a bunch of meter because of the repeated use of special moves, and should he hit you with a clean, steady aim shot, you lose half your health. All of this makes him arguably the best character in the game. As you can imagine, fighting against a good Happy Chaos is not fun. At all. It feels like you're not able to play the game against him, because you kinda aren't. Not only is he not fun to play against, he's also incredibly boring to watch too. The character approaches almost every matchup in exactly the same way. Get the opponent full screen and keep them there with steady aim guard crush loops. Some notable exceptions to this include Potemkin, whose armor forces Chaos to actually think about his zoning, and Giovanna, whose 2-frame step dash allows her to get in a lot easier than most of the cast. Realistically, the only person having any fun is the Chaos player. It's no wonder that Happy Chaos is the biggest source of many players' ire. His presence is believed to be unhealthy for the game, and a lot of digital ink has been spilled on what could be done about him. So, what could ArcSys do about this situation? Now, I'm not here to suggest a list of changes for Happy Chaos, because this isn't that kind of video. but I think it's safe to say that the community is more than ready for a shakeup. If ArcSys plays their cards right, Season 2 can be just the shakeup we need, and it's all a matter of when. EVO 2022, the biggest annual tournament in the world, will take place in early August. Personally, I think Season 2 should drop sometime before then. I think that would provide the maximum benefit for everyone involved, including ArcSys themselves. Here's why. The top tiers, especially Happy Chaos, have been creating a lot of frustration among the player base, and while such a phenomenon is in no way unique to Strive, just take a glance at the Street Fighter V and Dragon Ball FighterZ communities to see what I mean. It isn't helped by the fact that we've been on the same patch for months. So, if ArcSys chooses to wait until after EVO to release Season 2, it would mean at least 10 months on the current patch. And then if we consider how powerful and arguably meta-defining Happy Chaos is, there's a very strong possibility of getting a Chaos Mirror at EVO Grand Finals. To get a peek into what that could look like, look no further than the Super Smash Bros. For Wii U EVO 2018 Grand Finals. To keep it brief, Bayonetta was the best character in that game. Not only did she have the most brutally punishing offense, she also had the best defense in the form of Witch Time and Bat Within, and she was one of the best at camping you out in between deleting your stocks. At EVO 2018, Grand Finals consisted of a Bayo Ditto. It was the most boring match ever, and was awful for both the players, commentators, and the audience. So what does a bad moment in competitive Smash history have to do with Happy Chaos and Strive? Well, when a top tier doesn't really have to engage with the game and is so unfun to play against and spectate, it tends to reveal the issues with a fighting game as a whole. For Smash 4, Bayonetta exacerbated the notion that defensive and lame play was the name of the game, and that in a game with fewer combos in general, the characters who had the most combo freedom were monsters. For Strive, Happy Chaos laid bare some of the skewed risk-reward in the system mechanics, in particular, the absolutely anemic meter gain on defense, and the nature of Guard Crush in general. In fact, we've actually already seen a Smash 4 EVO Grand Finals type scenario before in Strive, and it's not pretty. Given the current sign-up numbers for EVO, Strive will likely be the headlining game, with its top 8 happening on Sunday, August 7th. If Grand Finals consists of a Happy Chaos Ditto, with hundreds of people in the stands and tens of thousands watching on Twitch, it will hurt the game. How much damage would this scenario do? That I can't say, but I do believe it would cause a large enough loss of interest that it should be avoided at all costs. Strive tournaments are plenty hype already, yes, even with Nago vs. Ram games, so long as Happy Chaos isn't on the screen, and I think a lot of people would agree with that statement. If ArcSys releases Season 2 before EVO, say in May or June, it would shake up the game enough to create a lot of crazy scenarios and upsets throughout the tournament. This would garner a lot more interest in the game during and after EVO, and thus more sales for ArcSys than if we saw a mirror match of the most despised character in the game. In conclusion, ArcSys should release Season 2 of Guilty Gear Strive before EVO 2022 to save us from the Happy Chaos menace. I know a lot of this hinges on Happy Chaos getting adjusted for Season 2, but even if he doesn't, Season 2 should bring enough changes to the table to make the game better as a whole and keep things fresh and interesting. Ultimately, only ArcSys gets to decide when Season 2 comes out, so all we can do is hope for the best outcome. With that in mind, see you next patch. Unless they don't do anything about Happy Chaos, then we're screwed. Thank you for watching.
Free love was too tame for him.